Well, hello, my friends. It is time for another Icon Shop tour. I know it's been a while, and I get a lot of requests for it. So here we are. Let's start in here because for prosperity, it is good to notice my office is actually clean, and this never happens. So just want to document it. Every 10 years or so, we clean it up. Here we are in the front showroom. This Mercedes needs to be a derelict. Original paint car, super nice. I've been holding on to it, kind of waiting to find the right client that thinks it's as groovy as I do. It's called a 300D. It's a very rare model that's mostly forgotten about in this world, and they get taken apart to support Gullwing and 300 SL Roadster restos, but they really deserve more respect on their own because they're just killer. Full-length Webasto sunroof, no pillars. They're super nifty. Well, the rest of the audio was totally blown out, so I'm going to do it here from my desk. This FJ40 is a 1978. Everything is as original and as new. The tires, the fuel filter, and the battery have been changed, and that's it. The truck has about 5,300 original miles. On the other end of the spectrum, here you see one of the TLC fully restored 76 FJ40s. It's a resto mod running an E-Rod, an H55F, four-wheel disc brakes, EMU suspension, and a bunch of other goodies. On its left is its British cousin, a NAS 110 Defender Land Rover. We built for a guy, but he can't fit it in his garage. He has to store it half hour away from his house, and it sucks. So he's going to order a Thrift Master, and we're going to resell it. Here we are in the main plant. This first silver BR is just finishing final pre-inspection. We shot it with the bikini top, and now we're going to put the hard top on. I'm going to shoot it and then ship it off to its final owner. Nice truck. I love that silver. Here's some more BRs in production. This one's kind of cool because you can see the underpinnings a little bit better. So here are the Icon forged aluminum wheels made here in Los Angeles. You'll see our custom splash panel and speaker panel integrated, polyurea coating on the body. The electrical, it's kind of cool to see before it's all sealed up. So we're using Deutsch Tech and military triple seal, connector bodies, all cross-link wire, laser marked with function. The idea there is I'm trying to build vehicles that'll last for decades more. And once that powertrain is out of date, those three bulkheads represent body, chassis, and engine bay harnesses, so it makes it easier for you to do a proper quality update. Here you see a BR body just back getting the heat-cured polyurea coating after paint. Here in the trans tunnel, something you can never see on my done trucks. Aerospace material on aluminum built off the body on stanchions, and this protects you from all the radiant heat these original trucks are notorious for. Works really, really well, like total room temperature on the trans tunnel area. On its left, we're doing the final preparation for the chassis. So final recheck, torque, and wax marking of all interface points, all nuts and bolts and heim joints and all those goodies. Otherwise, this one is almost ready to receive the body. So this one's got the Coyote and the automatic. Here you can see the Icon Sport Brakes by Brembo coming together. So just nice. You can see the Johnny joints, overbuilt control arms. Now this chassis is going to be a hard one to understand as it sits. But you know the old three-door Suburbans, which frankly I never understood why they were three-door. I'm hearing all sorts of interesting folklore history on that. So I hope to get to the bottom of that. But either way, we're turning this bugger into a four-door. We're also turning it into 1,000 horse, 1,000 torque. Tom Nelson Racing, friend of ours, local business here in Chatsworth, building the motor for it, and is going to be beast. And then special Brembos for that truck, one-off HREs. Here you see a chassis that again is hard to identify, and then piles of shiny parts, chrome parts, polished parts, plated parts, powder-coated parts. These are either original parts restored and or modified, and then all this black stuff are things that we made for the truck. So it's a Kaiser Wagoneer, which is right on the edge of Jeep buying Kaiser. so it has that cool shovel nose. But when we're done, Brembo Sport brakes, General Motors E-Rod V8 automatic, Atlas 2, Dana 60s, Fox Racing suspension. It'll be a reformer, so it'll be as new. It'll be beautiful. Here you have an old Hudson Hornet. We're just starting the process of building a derelict. So we've cleaned and media blasted the underside to take care of some rust, laser scanned it, and we're in engineering now. This one's really cool. 58 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. This too is a derelict, as you can tell. It's going together here, final assembly. So we build them digitally, then we build them raw, then we build them pretty, hence the powder coat and stainless and all that. So this truck's running an LS7, heat-cured polyurea body, extensive soundproofing, stainless fuel system, stainless exhaust system, ridiculous brakes, automatic trans. It's coming out pretty darn cool. I'm hoping it's actually going to be on the road here in about 2 or 3 weeks, because I want to take it and go up to Pebble Beach and piss off the purists with it. That'll be good fun. So a nice build, taking a long time. I'll tell you, the Brits have a very special way of building things. That's the short story. Over here is a fun one. It's been a long-term project for us, but we're through the heat of it now. This is a 49 Merc. Usually you see these chopped, channeled, slammed, Frenched, smooth, flames all over them, but we're going to leave the body dead stock and in fact the original paint. Four-wheel independent, Dana 60, big Brembos, no motor. So instead of a motor, we kept the aesthetic of a kind of, well, loosely inspired by like an old 8BA flathead with tons of speed equipment. But what you're looking at is actually an array of Tesla 100S batteries and battery management and battery cooling system components. This would be 800 foot-pounds of torque, dual electric motors. The motors are actually where the tranny used to be. There they are. Those are from AMR, great American company building really good quality EV motors. Here you see a couple more of the array trays for the 100S batteries. We have those distributed throughout the car for really nice weight balance. Here you can see a little bit of the Rolls-Royce interior. Super cool. We had the leather made for us, all the hardwood beautifully restored by the top guy for Rolls. Over here, this dash, or actually this gauge panel, so it looks stock, that's for the Rolls. We've added a lot of new functionality and it's all digital now, but we worked really hard to keep the vintage look intact. This dash is for that 49 Merc. We're doing some light remodeling or reshaping the instrument panel housing. We're going to be fitting one of those Andromeda digital screens with full instrumentation for all the EV circuits, but we designed it to look like the stock gauge, all the way down to like the chrome bezel and the finish, and then all custom knobs and stuff. Again, inspired by the original, but executed in higher quality components. This area is a little confusing because it's shared by Icon and TLC right now. The racks to the left I'll show you later, but on this side you see the TR Thriftmaster in production. So this is TR number 7, I think it is. So E-Rod, LS3, full emissions. This color is lovely. It's kind of hard to tell in the shop light, but it's like a deep dark green. Usual dash interior, all tested, pre-fit, running final harness. The wood in the bed's kind of cool, so every time we do one of these, we change up the wood. And in this case, a fan through Instagram reached out. He's a high-end finish cabinetry dude, and he said, hey, have you ever heard of this cool process? Which I hadn't. So we took him up, and he did it for us. So it's an ancient Japanese charring process for hardwood that's like an 80-year stable finish for exterior apps. We did it to quarter sawn white oak, and it's just lovely. Excited to see that finish. It super stable, antimicrobial, UV stable, lots of good stuff going on there. These trucks there's so many details in these I don't think people often realize. So just briefly here in the back, CNC taillight LED assemblies, CNC LED reverse lights inserted into the bed rails and what was otherwise kind of a useless spot that was hard to paint properly. Here on the tailgate, you'll see its stamped icon. Actually, in all honesty, it's not stamped. We use an acid process to etch and dimension the metal, but it's Cool way around six-figure tooling. So this isn't an icon, but it's super cool, so I want to share it with you. It's what we call an 140. So that's where we take an FZJ80 and an FJ60 and mash them up. So we have the chassis and underpinnings of an 80 with the vintage body of a 60. We did it in a really cool Ferrari color. Here, this front bumper is one of the Icon design bumpers that we retail for FJ60 and FJ62s. I love the ARB bumper, but these have a more appropriate scale to me. I'll tell you more stories about the stripes and all the incredible details on this truck once we post the video here in a month or so. These racks are for the TLC service department area. So TLC, if you don't know, is my first brand. It's on its 20th year. Sales, service, parts, restoration, conversions, whatever related to vintage Toyota Land Cruisers. I don't import gray markets. I restore U.S. models, and I use all OEM parts or better on that. Over in this area, this used to be the parts department, which we relocated into an additional 24,000 square feet we took over recently. So now we moved the FJ team over here. So much better, much cleaner area for them. We have a slew of 40s going on right now, followed by a slew of 44s and a 45, and there's one 43 you'll see here. I'm going to focus on this one. Super cool. It's more of like an old school vibe, but it is an icon. So it has all the chassis and mechanical and ergonomic engineering, blah, blah, blah. But we restored and modified a vintage hardtop, and we painted the new aluminum body. So really happy with this. It's coming out beautifully. The wheels are the new Icon Retro or old school wheels. So they're CNC'd aluminum. They're 18-inch, so we can fit our monster brakes. But even though they're an 18, they're lighter than the stock 15. Super groovy. Made again here in LA. So the usual sort of trim and details, but just a custom color. But the white cap and this kind of retro color really significantly changed the look of the truck. I'm excited to see this one done. So when you do these hardtop and doors on an Icon, it adds a lot of cost and time. For example, finding the sheet metal is your first problem, and then we use all new everything. So the window regulator, the latches, the catches, the door handle armatures, the glass, the whiskers, the rubber. We line them in Dynamat. A lot of work goes into that. It's getting really hard to find that sheet metal. If you by chance have 75 or newer doors and hardtops, let me know. If they're in top shape, I am a top buyer. There you see we ran the new rearview mirrors as well. Here's a gun safe that we designed. That'll be fitting into the back of an FJ40 in the cargo area. Here's a straightforward FJ40 powertrain, chassis, aluminum body all being prepped. Pretty soon here I'm going to turn around and face the camera, but I'm not even going to try and lip sync. I'll just say I appreciate your interest. It's time for a shop tour. I'm glad you watched it. Blah, blah, blah. See ya.